Managing all the components of a website and links between pages can become unwieldy if you're doing it manually. Fortunately, Dreamweaver takes some of the guesswork out of this process using its powerful site management features. In this video, I'll be showing you how to define a site in Dreamweaver, and it's important to know that before you start a new chapter in this video training, you'll want to define a site for that specific chapter as well, so you have all the exercise files available to you for that chapter. Let's get started. I'm beginning this video with Dreamweaver CS6 already open on my computer. And defining a site can be done in really two different locations inside of Dreamweaver. One can be done from the Site menu at the top of your screen, and the other location you can do down here in your Files panel using this drop-down menu right here. Now, if for some reason you don't see the Files panel, you can go to the Window menu and simply choose Files from the list, and that will display the Files panel inside of Dreamweaver. So to get started, I'm going to use this drop-down menu first. So I'm going to click on that drop-down menu, mine currently says Computer, and I'm going to go to the Manage Sites option. So I'll click that option, and that's going to open up the Manage Sites dialog box. Now inside of here, we're going to create a new site. Now really all we're going to do is we're going to point to a local folder where our exercise files live. So I've copied those exercise files to my desktop, but you should do the same thing, and you could copy them really wherever you wish, as long as you can point to them on your computer. So to begin, I'm going to come down here and click on the New Site button. So I'll go ahead and do that, and this is going to bring up a secondary dialog where we're going to define the properties of our site. So for the site name, you can really use whatever name you wish. To keep it consistent, I'm going to name my site Chapter 3. And in the local site folder, this is where you want to point Dreamweaver to the folder that lives on your hard drive where the lesson files for Chapter 3 live. So I'm going to click on my folder icon here. I'm going to navigate to my desktop, to the exercise files folder, and in this chapter I'm going to use the 03_creating folder. So I'll go ahead and click choose, and now I've defined the local site folder. Now if you were defining a true website that you were going to be working on, you were going to have to define some of the other properties in here. So for example, servers. As I've explained before, when you set up a website, you need to assign a server where you will be uploading your files to make them publicly available to the world. So if I click the plus sign, this is where I can define a server name, a FTP IP address, username, and password. We can connect our servers in a number of different ways, as you can see using the drop-down menu here, but I will say that FTP is the most common connection method used today. So because we're doing this locally on our computer and we're really not going to upload them at this point, I'm going to leave this blank. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel. But the other thing we want to do is we're going to come down here to the advanced settings category, and you'll see that we have a local info subcategory. And what I always like to do is define my default images folder. And what I will do here is click on the folder icon, and you'll notice it automatically now is navigating to Chapter 3. And I'll click on the images folder and click choose. And what that does for you and me is that whenever I insert an image that is not located in this folder, Dreamweaver will prompt me to copy it to this location. Again, this is where Dreamweaver really shines because it really takes a lot of the guesswork out of working with all these multiple files. So if I were to insert an image that's not in this folder, Dreamweaver will say, do you want to copy it to this folder? And I certainly would want to do that. That way everything is contained within my website. If you know the web URL of your website, you can plug that in there as well. So there are a lot of other properties that we can define here, but the ones that I've covered so far are the important ones that will allow us to keep moving and working inside of Dreamweaver. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Save button, and you'll notice that now I have a new site called Chapter 3. It's important to understand as well that we can define as many sites as we wish inside of this dialog, and that will allow us to quickly access them at different points in time. If you are in a role where you're managing multiple websites, you don't have to delete them from this list. You can just keep adding them, and then when you need to edit a particular site, you simply make that site active and make your edits. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Done button, and you'll notice right away that over here in our Files panel, we're now working with the Chapter 3 site that we defined a few seconds ago. You'll also notice that in the Local Files section here, this is all of the files that have been added to our website, or at least the files that exist inside of that local folder right now. You can rearrange this panel. You'll see if I hover over the left edge here, I can open this up a little bit, and then you can rearrange the columns so you can see the name of the text files and the HTML files that we're working with. Another important note that I want to point out here is that there's going to be times where you will go back out into your Finder or Windows Explorer and you might move some files into your local site folder. They may not show up right away in this Files panel. However, we do have this useful button right here, which is refresh. You can see that the shortcut is F5. And if you ever copy files into your local site folder and they don't appear here, just click the refresh button and that'll refresh the list of files so that you can quickly access them. As you've seen, defining a site in Dreamweaver is quite easy. And by doing so, you'll help to avoid common mistakes and you'll make working in Dreamweaver easier because all the assets required for your website will be within easy reach.